Hello, Barchynai. Really nice to see you here. Can you please tell me about yourself?
So I am a front-end developer at Implasoft. Implasoft is a US-based company, and it's basically IT software. It provides IT software for truck companies, and it was founded like about 4 years ago by a former truck driver. And so in US, the market share of truck companies is growing from year to year, and former truck driver decided to to develop some application for truck companies to help them make easier the document management with documents and stuff. So he come up with this idea to put all the features in one application. So we are a team of and we have two founders of the companies who are also from former Soviet countries, and we have one product manager and around 10 developers, and two of them are full stack tech leads. One is full stack and the other one is mobile developer in mobile development field. And so yeah, and we have like mobile application development, and we also do for web browsers, and I work with only web applications. And as a junior developer, I help with implementing the features, such as to-do list for the drivers as well as for the management. So we have like two different applications. One is for management to track the status of the vehicles and the cost of the fuel and mileage. And the other application is for drivers who have to like put those numbers. And yeah, and I work for web application.
So. Okay, I see. You are mostly web developer, right?
Yes.
I see. Okay, and can you also tell me, so your company, it's based on USA, right?
Yes, it is. It's in Illinois, Chicago.
Okay. And do you have on your company any testers, or you did the job?
We have one tester, but I also do a test with unit test, which is a library that the React has. I do manual test all the time, and as for code, I do unit tests with a test library.
Okay, nice. Cool. And could you please tell me? Okay, everything kind of clear, yeah, about your company. And you were a front-end developer in your company, right?
Yes, I'm a junior front-end developer.
And do you have experience work with backend developers? So
we do have in backend developers, but did some features. I implemented some features with the database. I used Firebase for the backend. To be particular, I implemented the login part of our application, and I used the Firebase for it. So yeah, and also when the user enters the new vehicles, also it will be based on on Firebase. I
Okay,
mean,
so you basically you used Firebase like your backend, right?
uh, yeah, it is Firebase, and some part is MongoDB, I believe.
Mhm. Okay, I see. And here I saw that you worked with Material UI, right?
Yes.
And for which part of your application you need that Material UI?
Material UI, we most of the front end, the UI part is we made with Material UI because it saves time and also makes code cleaner, and I don't have to like write a million lines of CSS, and it also makes application mobile responsive. So that's why in my job I use Material UI library.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And here I can see also that you developed and implemented highly responsive components using React, right? Could you tell
Yes.
me about it more?
So I used Material UI and
Mm-hmm.
well as some CSS tools such as Flex and Grid
Mm-hmm.
that help us to build responsive applications.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And okay, could you also tell me, do you have experience with converting class components to the functional?
Yes, actually, when I just started in this company, most of the components were class-based companies, and I did a lot to. One of my first tasks were to convert those into functional components. So now, like almost 100% of application is functional components,
Mm-hmm.
since components are not.
Okay, I see. And what do you like on functional components most?
Um, Functional components are pretty like straightforward, and when we use hooks, you don't have to build all this constructors and use super and write basically the class components. They were more lines of code, whereas in functional components we just use hooks and states and use set states to change the state.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. And could you tell me also about asynchronous on JavaScript on React?
Uh, as we know, the JavaScript itself is synchronous, single-threaded programming language, and it read the code line by line from left to right. But it's only JavaScript does it. However, the browser is not synchronous. It can do a million stuff at the time. So if you want to run some chunk of code, not line by line, but after some time and use, for example, set timeout and give like 5 seconds, then the call stack will through it to the web API where it will be registered and will wait for 5 seconds as you asked for. And whenever these 5 seconds will end, it will the callback will go to the callback queue, where it will wait until the call stack will get empty, because the call stack cannot run on the run the code from call stack queue until it's in the general execution content. And the event loop will loop the call stack all the time and check if it's empty. And whenever the general execution content will be expired and the call stack will be empty, the event loop will bring the call stack queue from call stack queue the callback. I mean the callback set timeout callback. And at that time, we also have the promise, which is came with ES6, and it comes whenever promise goes and registers in the web API. It will not be sent to call stack callback queue. It will go to the micro task queue, and it will wait until the call stack will get empty. And the difference between microtask queue and the call stack queue is that microtask queue has a priority. It has higher priority. So event loop will loop the call stack, and whenever the call stack gets empty, it will first bring the code from callback from the microtask queue, and it means it will bring first the promise. The promise will run first, and whenever the microtask queue gets empty, only then event loop will bring the callback from my callback queue. So but sometimes promise may create new callback, and it can make the callback queue wait for a long time, and it can cause the starvation of a callback queue.
Okay. Thank you, Barchynai. Thank you a lot. Now we can stop. You got this offer.
Thank you. I actually had a couple interviews, and most of the time they ask the exactly same questions. They ask about the Emplasoft, and they always ask so detailed. They are so detailed. They ask how many people you have there, and how many developers, and how many tech leads, and what they do. And that's why I decided be so specific, because all the interviewers ask the same questions, and they want details. It feels like they don't trust, or feel like that maybe we're making up the story, or I don't know, or it's because I know the truth, but they ask they are very specific when they ask about Emplasoft. And so at Saturday we had the mock interview with Kanat, and he shared some papers with all these explanations and descriptions of Emplasoft, how many people work there. And these guys, they really prepared very hard. They just made up the whole story and it helped me so much. Like in different interviews, I would say different stuff because it was so hard to make up stuff right away. But when I got the story ready for me, it got very much easier. Пойдем. Are you guys there? It feels like I'm talking to myself.
We are here, yes. Barchynai, I can hear you.
My son is crying, so I turned off the cameras. It's not, the best time to.
I see, but we can hear you. Yes, yes, you are not alone here.
So what I mean is that today I had also interview, and the interviewer was very specific about the Implosoft. He asked how many people work there and what exactly you do and how your day looks like. So if you are having interviews, be ready to answer those questions, like, so they feel like you really work there and this company exists, and you that you just have to make up some story. And I don't know, because previously at other interviews when I was asked these questions, it was very hard for me to just make up the story at the time. Like, you have to come up with the story right away, and it's very hard. So if you just write down and write the story and just learned it and believe it, I think it's gonna be very helpful.
And like everybody asks these questions about
Yeah,
Implosoft. Yeah.
yeah. All
Each
this
interview.
all interviewers were asking me about it, like same questions all the time.
Yeah. And are they local companies or foreign companies?
Different, some are locals, but they were companies, I believe Russian companies also. Yeah.
Yeah. And do they also ask, like, how did you work with backend?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Added things.
Because they want to know did you work, I mean, is it real, first thing, yeah, and second thing, what they expect from you on new place, if you have some chances to work with backend guys, so maybe you know something. And yeah, it will always show what you did before. It's always after it they will know what you can do on this, your previous, if you what you did on your previous job will show what you can do in new job. So that's why they will ask in detail. They will ask how many times you have these meetings, yeah, stand-up meetings and etc. And how do you work with how they can also ask about is if it's more European or US companies. They can ask also behavioral questions. So how do you solve your conflicts in your job and etc. And of course they will ask a lot of technical things. So tell me about test, unit tests, and etc. Advantages and disadvantages of React. If no one is ready, but I believe that everyone can answer at least for one questions. Yeah. So Barchynai started. Thank you a lot, Barchynai. And let's move. Oksana, can you tell me about advantages and disadvantages of React?
One of the advantages is that it is very fast because it uses virtual DOM, and it just re-renders the things which change. It doesn't have to re-render the whole page. And yeah, and at the same time, because it is developed very fast, it is sometimes difficult, to keep up with like new things in React. And also it requires like more technology, and for some people it might be difficult. So some people think that working in React is difficult. So this may be the disadvantage.
Okay, can you tell me more about virtual DOM? What does it mean?
It means that I didn't prepare well for that question. I just know that it's like it compares the changes, yeah, in real DOM and the changes we are making, and and it sends only changes to real DOM.
Okay, you mean only that part where we had some changes, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Oksana, of course, here you need to read more, yeah, and explain not only with one sentence, like a short story about virtual DOM, but in the same time, can you tell me when the page will re-render it? So when our application will re-render.
When will it re-render?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. So Oksana, you need to read more about
yes, yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Ali, can you talk?
Excuse me.
Hello, Ali. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Can you tell us more about virtual DOM?
Okay, virtual DOM is a real is a copy of real DOM where we can have a web application much more faster than the real DOM, because every time when we render something or when we want to return some results in our DOM, it has to take a lot of time to update real DOM. And every time, for example, if you use just for loop or some another higher order functions, every time when it loops, we have to update our real DOM. The best and effective and efficient part of virtual DOM is that virtual DOM always keeps his last snapshot and always just compares with its last snapshot. And every time when we render or when we update something on our virtual DOM, it will just update not exactly the whole part, just the exact part that we need to update in real DOM, and that's all. That's the most, I think, how to say, the most benefit of the virtual DOM. It's fast, it's not so much costly like real DOM, and it takes less, how to say, energy from our devices to just load the page.
Cool. And can you tell us also when our app will re-render?
Our app will re-render
Every time when?
every time when we just a second. Based on our life cycle methods, every time when we load the page.
Not exactly. Also.
If we, for example, if we use effect hook, so inside hook we can just put some states to re-render when this state is going to be updated. We have to re-render.
Yeah,
You
every
mean
time.
this one?
Yeah, that one, exactly that one. Really cool, Ali. So every time when we update our state, our application will re-render.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice, thank you a lot. And let's move on.
Okay.
Or do you want to continue?
No, I think that's enough.
Okay.
Last week and this week I'm going to have a lot of interviews, and 2 weeks ago, so I had a lot of questions, and I would like to thank you. I would like to just tell everyone, if you don't mind, just 3-4 minutes. Guys, girls, boys, please, when you are getting or being prepared to the interview, I mean to the hard questions, our mind is like prepared to hard questions, and sometimes we just lose or we just forget about elementary questions. Please make sure that you know well about elementary questions, because I had one interview where I had failed just making to-do list up, because I have prepared for the biggest questions, for the hardest questions, for the I don't know, difficult questions. Then when it came to just simple task about to-do list, I have failed because of the just forgetting about the deleting part. Not just forgetting, I had to find about this one. I spent like 3-5 minutes to just remember about this one, because my brain was like ready to the all hardest difficult questions. I was like, I will beat them, but with only just elementary tasks, they have just failed me. Sometimes it happens.
Yes, it's like you cannot know 100%, right?
Yes, exactly. It's better to not to know the difficult question rather than just not to know the elementary one. Therefore, I'm just telling, we have to perfectly know everything. I mean, the elementary ones, the easiest ones, because we have experience, because we know about this one, everything.
Yeah.
But
And
hardest, difficult questions, of course, it's okay to not to just know everything about the difficult ones.
yeah, that's true. I think it's okay if you don't know Redux and Context API. Yeah. But
Yes.
some kind of like virtual DOM, and once the page is re-rendered, or something like easy questions regarding JavaScript, set timeout, set interval, asynchronous, async await. Yeah, what's the difference maybe between fetch and async await? Or these all HTML, CSS questions you have to know for 100%. And on
Yes.
JavaScript also, you have to know for 100%. On React also, to do something simple, forming UI, yeah, material UI, how to use. Also, you have to know for 100%. And it's okay if you have some difficulties with Redux and Context API. But this kind of question you have to know for like excellent, if someone's got in midnight, they will tell you, hey Dinara, please wake up, tell me about virtual DOM. You need to be able to tell about virtual DOM, so that's fine.
For sure. And just one more thing, in one interview I had some questions regarding ES7. Do I know ES7?
ES7?
Or
Have it?
ES7.
Wow.
So we know all about ES6, but they wanted me to know about ES7 also.
Yeah, I met also kind of ES7, and I like, oh, do we have ES7? Okay.
I never heard of it. Thank you, Ali, for sharing. I will Google now.
You are welcome. And you can Google about the object-oriented programming, because everyone asks about this one.
I learned it late. Crazy. Today I was asked about object-oriented programming also.
And GraphQL also, right? Ali,
yes, GraphQL, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's something crazy. I just, kind of found one on GraphQL page. They have their education videos. I found it and I'm watching that, but it's kind of smart, but you also will need experience to work on it.
Yes.
It's kind of better than regular fetching data, but in the same time, for now, it's something like really hard for me.
Sometimes I think like we are okay juniors, or if sometimes we are applying for mid positions, I think it's okay to have so much knowledge that we have now, but in some occasions, some companies ask a lot of things, like I'm applying for senior or product manager positions. And sometimes it makes like, do I have to read a lot, or do I really don't know about this one? Something like this.
Yeah, they require much, like a lot. Maybe because there are so many developers out there looking for like good salaries and good jobs, and so that's why they want good fit. You
Yeah.
don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all those required points, but maybe they're looking for someone who gets at least 80% maybe of it. It's only
Maybe, yeah.
no extra. Still,
Okay.
you're doing good, Marie.
Sorry.
Still, you're doing good. I mean, having interview, trying yourself.
Yeah,
Yes.
we all believe in you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This week also I'm having some interviews, so I'm getting prepared.
Wish you best luck.
Yeah, thank you. But here, actually, in Poland, there are a lot of offers. I mean, the
Market is
job
big.
market. Yeah, but in job market, I mean, in Poland, I have seen that the job market is so big, and there are so many companies that offering a lot of positions. I mean, around this front-end manager, front-end, I mean, the front-end developer, front-end engineer, React developer, and something like this. There are so many jobs here. Yeah, opportunities that you can just hold on. But of course, yeah, they sometimes ask a lot for less amount of salary. Sometimes I have seen some companies like they don't ask too much. They ask the basics and the hardest ones, and that's all. For of course big amount of money, but sometimes, yeah, you see like even in some companies for around $1,000, they ask you so many things that like you are Bachelor of Computer Science or something like this.
Yeah, they're for sure looking for the one who has degree in computer science, because all this design pattern questions. I mean, we haven't studied it in bootcamp, did we? Patterns and object-oriented programming, like, so the concept of it. And I had also concepts. I said something about the try, don't repeat yourself, and the interviewer started to ask me about the other concepts. What else do you know? Do you know solid? Do you know about this and that? And like
solid keys.
Yes, yeah. And the patterns, what patterns do I know?
It's something that we don't learn in bootcamp, because it's something very, yeah.
It's
self-study.
Yeah, maybe self-study, but I mean, it's not about front-end developers, I think. Because
And regarding the OOP, I mean the object-oriented programming, in 2 interviews I had been asked about functional programming as well. Just study about this one. What is the functional programming? What is the differences between functional programming and the OOP? And what is the constant like drawbacks of the OOP and functional programming? Something like this.
And JavaScript is functional programming, yeah?
Yes.
They ask about it, right? So
yes, but after ES6, when the class, this class method was first introduced, we can say like JavaScript is like mutation of functional and OOP. So it's like half OOP where we can have classes, where we can have these constructors, and at the same time where we can just write, or we can return some tasks by making the functions. Therefore, yeah, they wanted me to just to tell the exact differences of the functional programming and OOP.
I see.
And of course, if you wrote on your CV about Redux, please watch some YouTube videos about Redux. At least as a beginner, we have to know, because I had in one interview really difficult questions about Redux. It was like the most terrifying question was like, the interviewer asked me that if we update our state on our Redux, how we will show this update by Redux on virtual DOM.
Oh my
Something
gosh.
like Then I wanted to just at least somehow clarify the question, but the same, he was like, okay, first when and how we update state in Redux, and second, okay, when we have updated state in Redux, how we like render or show on virtual DOM using Redux, something like this.
Okay.
And I think it's tricky questions.
Yeah. And for sure, we need to learn more about Redux and Context API. And also here I shared, with one video in LinkedIn, I found it. And I think it's also very useful for you guys. So about APIs, how it works, because I got also some kind of questions about this RESTful API. Please watch that videos on LinkedIn. I share it on chat. And thank Ali for your for sharing with your experience. It's really nice to hear that some of our students are applying and trying his best. Yeah, it's really nice. And in the same time, I think guys from Kyrgyzstan, from Russia, try yourself in European companies also. And exactly in what I want to add, that when you're searching a job, when I'm searching job like software engineer Ukraine, I got some kind of 300 new jobs, new positions, something like this. But when you searching job something like United Kingdom, London, you're getting, I don't know, crazy amount of jobs. So that's why don't put borders for you. Just try to search and apply for a lot of jobs in other countries also. If you don't want to apply for Europe now, maybe you think maybe there are другая юрисдикция and something like this, apply for Ukraine companies, because they are looking for guys from Kyrgyzstan, from post-Soviet Union countries, because how you will work. They will send your salary. Как это выглядит, да? Вы открываете ИП, что такое, типа, индивидуальный предприниматель. Даже европейские компании, они когда аутсорсинг делают в Украину, они работают с ИП, да, то есть
B2B.
Да, B2B, да. И вам просто высылают вашу зарплату как за по договору оказания услуг. So don't put borders for when you are applying for a job. So choose Ukraine companies, something like European companies. So don't apply only for Russian companies. Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
One of my friends, he also get a job from London. So, and when I start asking him, how is it possible? Is it real? He said, yes, for 100% you can get a job from any countries. Maybe from USA it will be hard, and maybe it's невозможно, да? But from European, from Ukraine countries, you can get a job. So just start applying.
Yes. For Polish companies in Poland, there are a lot of big companies that work as an outsource company for US companies, for Canadian companies, Australian companies, because it's better to just hire someone in Europe, in Poland especially, for like 3 times less or 4 times less amount, rather than just having inside, I mean, in the United States or in Canada. Therefore, in Poland, in Portugal, in Spain, I have seen there are a lot of job opportunities.
Yeah, that's true. So let's do like this. Let's tomorrow, let me choose 2 persons for tomorrow, 2 students, yeah? And we will ask about React tomorrow, that 2 students, okay? Because this is last week, and during this week, please send me your CVs, yeah, if you didn't do it. And let's finish all our stuffs, because on Friday you will graduate and we will see each other only once a week just to talk, you know, without React, without JavaScript, and etc. So that's why Oksana, Milana, Manu, Farabi, Anara, Dinara, do you want to get interviewed tomorrow?
Maybe not me, because tomorrow I will be busy during the day and will not have time for preparation. So I wouldn't like to be interviewed tomorrow.
Okay, I see. Anara, Milana. So it seems no volunteers for interview for tomorrow, right? Okay, guys. Let's do like this. Please prepare yourself really hard tomorrow, and maybe day after tomorrow you will be ready to get some interview, to be asked some questions regarding React. Anara, can you hear me? Farabi, Manu. Manu, do you applying for a job also?
Not really, not right now.
Manu, you are also from Poland, right?
Oh, no, I'm from Kyrgyzstan.
You are from Kyrgyzstan. And do you want to get take interview tomorrow?
Well, I don't know, honestly. I haven't practiced for a while.
Okay, let's do like this. Let's get interview from you tomorrow, yeah, regarding React.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, just prepare yourself at 6 p.m. as usual at 6 p.m. and be ready for technical questions regarding Amplitude. After Amplitude, it's going to be technical questions, and after technical questions, you will get a simple task to do on React.
Oh, okay. At 6, yeah? No, okay. Okay, I'll try.
We can do later at 7 p.m., something like this.
Oh, 7 is great.
Okay, yeah, 7. We can do at 7. And others, any volunteers for interview? No volunteers. Okay, I see. Tomorrow, please join to have a look to our interview with Manuze. And guys, girls and boys who didn't send me your CV, please send it, because this is last week. Yeah, and it means that after that, this week, you will not have opportunity to work on your CV with someone. Yeah, maybe ask something or get interview or something like this. So that's why please use your opportunity and please start applying for the jobs. Okay. 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 So do you have questions for me?
No.
Just what is our plan for this week? So are we going to have lessons every day? Yes, until Friday, and this is our last week.
On Friday, Oksana, on Friday you have class, yeah, with Mario, but other 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have to go through interviews on React. So that's why every day, please join and have a look to interview or go through interview. Yeah, so our plan like this.
Okay,
And
thank you.
that persons who didn't send me CVs, please send it to me. Okay. Because I know a lot of you should send it to me, so that's why I will be waiting your CVs also. Okay, let me then stop recording.